after finishing his secondary school certificate examination with some of his mates, went straight to the university. But John could not go. He could not go because his parents were just unable to foot the bill of a university education. John eventually sought for and got a job in a bank. And there are many reasons why John chose to work in the bank. One of the main reasons why he chose to work in the bank was that they told him that the bank has prospects. That if he's very hardworking, the sky is his limit. If he's hardworking and trustworthy, the sky is his limit. And certainly John is a very trustworthy person. He's somebody that can be trusted, and it takes somebody who can be trusted to work in the bank. So immediately he was employed in the bank, he began to take examinations, banking examinations, and he was making progress. He was a very hardworking person, and before long, he got his first promotion in the bank. It should be made clear that the salary he was receiving in the bank was not very much, but at least it was enough for him to keep going. As somebody who has just left school, he had almost no responsibility. There's no wife, he's not paying for rent, he lives with the parents, and had minimal responsibility. But in spite of the promotions he got, these promotions come with some increase in salary. So in spite of this promotion which he got, the monies he was getting as salary and other remuneration was still not enough for him to, take good care of himself. But at least it was reasonable. The money coming in was reasonable. It was under this circumstance that John met Jane and they got married eventually. So John, with this small salary, now has an additional mouth to feed. That is in spite of all the expenses he has to go. He has to meet. There is now an additional mouth for him to feed. But he remained undaunted. He doesn't see it as anything extraordinary. The wife became pregnant, and they were blessed with a child. That means that John now has an additional mouth to feed. So the situation is such that John's expenses have become increased. Now he has to pay for his house rent. He has to feed 3 mouths. He has to take care of his parents. He has to take care of his siblings. Those were challenges which we are beginning to mount in spite of his meager salary. But he still kept pushing. The problem now is that the salary he's taking, or the salary he gets from the job he's doing, was not enough to see him through from payday to payday. Before the 10th of the next month, all the monies he received have all been spent, and he begins to, look for where to get monies here and there. As a result of the situation in which he found himself, he began to take loans from individuals at a very expensive cost. Ordinarily, the bank provides him with loans, but he has exhausted all his entitlement from the bank. What the bank does is to, give you, if you are working in the bank, they give you loans. But this loan should not exceed a certain percentage of your salary. But John has exceeded this percentage. And since he couldn't get more from the bank, he resorted to getting from outsiders. The cost of the bank's loan is cheaper than what he gets from outside. But this is something he cannot there is nothing he can do about it, because already he has exhausted the facility granted him or allowed him in the bank. So he has to resort to outsiders. John has another friend, or he has a friend called Johnson. Johnson works in another bank around town. Both of them are very intimate friends. They finished school at the same time, and they got, this the bank job at the same time. Although they were not working in the same bank, but they live in the same environment. The pay that was coming to John in his own bank was about the same which Johnson was getting in his own bank. But the fact remains that while John was, usually short of money and looking for money left, right, and center, Johnson does not have the same problem. So he got to a point. John began to wonder why Johnson was, not having the kind of problem he has. Although he's a very proud person, he doesn't want to go out to ask Johnson how he's coping, why he's doing fine, while he's doing this bad. But at the point, he decided to abandon pride and called Johnson to the side to ask him how it was possible for him to be, living this way, why he, was having this kind of problem. It was at this point that Johnson told John about his elderly friend, a mentor of his who lives somewhere around town. He revealed to John that his friend, whose name was Mr. Silva, has been mentoring him on how to live the good life. He was ready to take John to his friend if John was ready to go along with him. It happened that Mr. Silva do organize seminars for individuals who want to improve their life. People who want to better their life are those he mentors. He organizes seminars for them, and they come. That seminar lasts for about 1 month. They come to him and he lectures them on how to live the better life. Good enough, the lecture will start next month. And that was how John was introduced to Mr. Silva. When John and Johnson got to Mr. Silva, the first question Mr. Silva fired at John was, "Where is your bank account? Can he see your bank account?" Mr. Silva was now asking John to provide him with his bank account. But John told him that, "Look, I have virtually nothing in my bank account. Even the small salary I get from the place I'm working is not enough for me to take care of my family. So what I have in my bank account is very, 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 very small." Then the man made a second request that John should bring a statement showing his goals, what he has projected, the goals he has projected to achieve within the next 6 months or 1 year. But John told him that, "Look, I don't have any. I've not been setting goals. I've not been doing anything like that." Even though John was aware of the benefits, he was aware of goal setting. But all along, he has thought that goal setting is just for companies and organizations. He never knew that it has to do with individuals as well. So he didn't take interest in doing that. So Mr. Silva, having had that, recommended that John is a very chronic case, that he has to start from the scratch. And that starting from the scratch involves starting by setting goals. He told John that, "Look, goal setting is very, very important. If you want to make the good life, if you want to live the good life and make life easier for your family, if you want to have it easy in life, you have to set goals." Then he went on to explain what goal setting is. He said that He went on to explain to John what goal is and what goal setting is. He started by saying that a goal is what you plan to do, what you want to achieve in life. For instance, if you want to shoot at something, if you want to shoot at an object, and you place the object in front of you, and then aim. If you want to shoot, before you shoot, you would have focused. You would have used everything you have to focus on what you want to shoot. Alright? Then, if you eventually shoot at that thing, you are likely to, hit it, because you have used all your resources, all the resources available to you to focus on that thing and aim and shoot. That is also the way it happens in life. You have an objective which you want to achieve. You focus on that objective, you aim at it, you use everything you have, all the resources you have, put them together, and then focus on that thing, and then aim for it. You are likely to achieve it. That is how he explained goal setting to John. It happened that John had heard about goal setting before. It's just that he did not take it serious because he thought that goal setting has to do with companies and organizations alone. He did not know that goal setting involves individuals like him as well. So he did not take it serious. He's now beginning to understand what, the importance of goal setting to an individual as well as a company. He said that goal setting gives us a sense of direction. It is not, the where you are coming from is not important. What is important is where exactly are you going to, that is the most important thing about goal setting. He added that it is important that John begins to set goals. If you set goals, you now begin to see where your expenses are going into in the nearest future, and how your income is going to, or how you are going to manage your income so as to take care of your expenses. You cannot do that if you don't set goals. When you set goals, you have an idea of how you are going to take care of your future. He said that if John had set goals, all that is happening now will not have happened to him, because he would have taken everything into consideration. He will take his income into consideration, take his expenses into consideration, so that when the time comes for income to match expenses, it won't be an issue like it is now. That he would have known what his expenses are going to be, and he would have prepared adequately against it, instead of the way he's now drifting and looking for monies left, right, and center. He wouldn't be looking for monies left, right, and center if he had, done his goal setting properly. For example, John is going to get married in the next 3, 4, 5 months. He would have known that, look, I'm going to get married in the next few months. He knows when he's going to get married. So he would have prepared for it. He would have, prepared himself in such a way that when the time comes for him to get married, he knows what he's going to spend, he knows what he's going to do, and he knows what he's going to spend. He knows where the money is going to come from. It's not like when it gets to that time, it begins to run helter-skelter. He would also have known that his baby is going to come in about 6, 7, 8 months' time, and begin to prepare adequately for it. If your baby is going to come 6, 7, 8 months' time, have you enough money at that point to take care of the hospital bills? Have you enough money to buy things that they will tell you to buy? These are things he would have considered, long before that time. And so that he does not, get to that time and begin to look for where to raise funds to take care of the immediate expenses. Having said all this, are you like John? Do you behave like John? Are you one of the Johns we have out there? Have you set goals? Do you have goals? Do you know what goals are, for a start? And have you set them? If you don't want to go the way of John, you better start setting your goals now, so that when the time comes, you won't have issues. Alright? When the time comes, you will become happier. In fact, if you don't set goals, and these problems come, these challenges come, it's going to be stressful to you. And we know the effect of stress on the human body. It could be something disastrous that will happen to you because of stress. The stress of looking for money, the stress of being tossed left, right, and center is not the best for any human being. So what I'm advising you is that begin to set goals now, so that when the time comes, you don't begin to say, I wish I had known. Thank you very much for listening.